We in internal communications know how important it is to measure the impact of our communications. Unfortunately, most of the people watching this video probably don't do it all that well. Well, things are going to change. A company called Newsweaver is coming to the US and bringing their measurement products to our market. And here today, we're talking to Marie Moynihan and Mossy Mahoney, head of product development and head of marketing for Newsweaver. Tell us what you do, and let's specifically look at metrics. What kind of metrics should internal communicators look at in their organization?
Well, I think the thing firstly to point out, Mark, that's is worth noting is that the measurement that we bring, it's a bit like turning on the lights for a lot of internal communicators when they first get it, because often in what they do, they've no measurement starting out. So the very fact that they can actually see what's going on is like taking them out of the darkness. So the first step is visibility and understanding. Once they get a bit more sophisticated, it moves on to actually looking at the different types of metrics that we offer. So if I could group it into two broad categories, I would say we provide very useful strategic analytics and also very useful tactical analytics. So at a strategic level, they're trying to understand, for all of the email communications this end, how many employees are reading them, what the most popular types of content across the entire organization is, and then maybe layering business data with that in terms of by location, geography, business function. Then at a tactical level, they're actually looking for more specific things. Well, I ran this campaign or sent this communication, and I need to understand that X amount of employees read this, or that they completed this call to action, that I had to get them to fill out a form, attend an event, or go onto the internet and take some action. So it really falls into those two broad categories. Now, if I were to give you a practical example, one of the more clever applications that I've seen of it in recent times has been whereby looking across the business in terms of the actual results and mixing that with the pay grade of specific employees, a business was able to identify for a particular type of information how well it had engaged at the different pay grades, so that they could then
that would be very useful. Yeah.
Exactly, so that they can actually address with the individual managers for those areas afterwards, your particular employees engaged with this information and understood it very well, but another area or a different pay grade, they didn't engage with it at all. Clearly there's an issue here. We either need to resend this, or you need to sit down with them and address it with them to ensure that they have actually taken in this information.
Marie, you're the head of marketing for this company. Tell us what makes you different. What makes Newsweaver different?
I suppose it is the metrics that is really the value that we bring. There's a lot of, and I think Mossy talked about that earlier, around the interactivity and the type of communication you can send. But it's really when you get in and really giving people that visibility into the metrics around how their communication is doing within their organization. Okay. And I know obviously a lot of our communication is sent on through the email platform, and so the metrics that are important when you look at that are things like openings and click-throughs and all of those specific metrics. But for us, they're really just the start of the story, right? Because we want to understand then it's not just the interaction on that one communication you send, it's like every communication in a series or every communication in a month. So you can then benchmark those communications over time. And that's what's really important, I think, for internal communicators, is that benchmark. So you can look and see kind of, I suppose that's how they're different to marketers too, right? We want to know exactly every, what would we get metrics on one specific communication. But I think internal communicators are looking to understand, are their employees engaging with their message over time? And so it's benchmarking that. The other great metric is, I suppose, are we doing well? And a lot of our internal communicators want to know, how are they being benchmarked against other companies' internal communications? So we'll provide to our customers a kind of a benchmark stat so they can monitor and measure their own communications against other internal communicators that are using Newsweaver.
Oh, so you can provide benchmarking information as part of your platform.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and we can also then segment that by industry. Sure. So you can, again, benchmark yourself off people that are just in your industry. So it gives them a real sense of, how is my communication doing against other internal communicators?
Well, it shows you how spoiled external marketers have been over the years, because they've had these kinds of dashboards for years. They wake up every morning, they look at a very clearly displayed dashboard on their engagement figures for their external audiences and prospects. You're bringing that to internal communications, correct?
I think so, and I think that's where we're going to get to. Really, it's about, you know, the way direct marketers can tell how many mail shots or how many emails they have to send to achieve a certain result or revenue. I think, you know, through more sophisticated analysis and data mining, we're actually going to be able to get to a stage where we'll be able to help internal communicators know how many mails they have to send or how many actions they have to take to actually achieve a given result in terms of, you know, registrations for an event, visits to an intranet page, emails read, survey completed. We will actually get to a stage where we can give them really, really scientific data to actually know what they have to do to achieve the results that they want.
That's, yeah, and I suppose to that point, you know, internal communicators have a whole host of channels that they use right now to get their message out. So everything from the intranet, their social enterprise network, emails, face-to-face, the list is huge. But they really have no one place where they can go to say, where was my message most effective? What channel really worked for me? And what we're doing is building them that dashboard to show, well, most of the traffic that you sent went to the intranet, or most of it went into, you know, chatter groups within your social enterprise network. But again, it's helping them understand where and how do their employees want to consume that information.
Well, this is excellent. Now let's talk about Newsweaver itself and your entrance into the US. So you're based in Ireland right now, correct?
That's right.
And you're planning, though, to open an office in Boston. Talk about that. When, you know, I'm sure a lot of people want to contact you, so let's talk about that as well.
So it's great. Like, yes, we're opening an office in Boston, but we right now have customers in the US. We've, you know, from just reaching out to them, they found us, they were looking for this solution. And I suppose it's that real need, and that's why we're opening that office in Boston, is because we have customers that are signing with us today, looking to do business with us, and we want to make sure we're just in the market, near the market, and be better able to service them. So that office is opening in January, but yeah, we're currently have current customers here in the US.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you more often.
Great.
Thanks for coming in, both of you.
Great pleasure.